And so on this deal, all I did was raise the gap funding. The gap funding was $275. I made that in one phone call, and in return, I get 25% of the profit. That's $5,000 in rental income on this luxury STR that we have in Phoenix. Remember when I worked at Dell after 14 years with an MBA? What was I bringing home? I was grossing 87, but I was bringing home less than. This is one example of one deal. Do you think I'm doing more than one of these or just one? More. This is the 25%. So one of the things that got me out of the day-to-day, I still flip. I'm going to flip for the rest of my life. I love flipping. I love the transformation process. I don't want to manage contractors anymore. I don't need to manage contractors. So capital partnership was one way that got me out of doing the business. This was a huge mindset shift for me. It got me off the job site, off the construction site, and this now has become a form of passive income. So another stream of income, finder's fees, you get instant payment. The minute you introduce someone, you get your finder's fee. A capital partnership, now I'm making 25 to 50% equity on every single deal, and all I do is raise the money. It's literally a form of passive income. So what does that look like? This is a short-term rental property in Arizona. It's a luxury STR that I have. Without going into the details of the story, there's a educator out there who approached me one day and was like, hey, will you raise money for me? And I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. I don't need you calling me every single day and asking me for money. Like, I'm good. I don't need to be stressed out by your deal flow. He's very credible, does a lot, whatever, in Arizona. No, it's not PACE. So, and at the time I wasn't comfortable with, this guy still kind of intimidated me. And, but then a couple of days had passed and I'm like, Amy, this guy just literally asked you to be his capital partner. Like, why would you say no? Because who knows what that partnership may lead to. And this is what's so crazy. Even though he intimidated me and he was like this big successful real estate educator guru, I went into his office and I said, hey, you know what? I retract my statement. Here's how this process is going to work. And it was like crazy how the tables had turned. But because I know how to raise money and I know how to explain to him contractually, structurally, here's what it's going to look like, here's what it's not going to look like, I wasn't like scared or nervous or intimidated. And so I said, look, I will call you when I have private money lenders sitting on the sideline. Don't call me. I will be the face of the partnership. I'm not raising money for so-and-so. I'm raising money for our deals that we have in Phoenix, Arizona. Your construction team is my construction team. I'm not just like, this is where I become so passionate about, like, you're not going to be a capital connector. When you guys implement this, you will be a capital partner, right? So Catherine's not just going to be like, hey, I'm raising money for this girl named Anna. No. Anna and I have deals in San Diego. Here's what it looks like. And you will manage the partner. You will manage the contracts. You will manage the flow of money. You will manage the monthly reports. It's literally less than 4 hours, like a year. So it's still considered passive income. And so on this specific deal, when I was telling this guy, this is how it's going to work, I was going to say in exchange for 10% equity. Thank you, Dell. The one thing Dell taught me was never put a number out there first. And so I said, but what do you think? And he said, well, it's me and 2 other guys. So we split everything 33%. So if we bring you on as a capital partner, we'll do it on a deal by deal basis. And I don't know, I'll give you like 25%. And internally I was like, yeah, girl, because I was going to be okay with 10, right? And so on this deal, all I did was raise the gap funding. The gap funding was $275. I made that $275 in one phone call. And in return, I get 25% of the profits. That's $5,000 in rental income on this luxury STR that we have in Phoenix. Remember when I worked at Dell after 14 years with an MBA? What was I bringing home? What did I say? I was grossing 87, but I was bringing home less than. This is one example of one deal. Do you think I'm doing more than one of these or just one? More. This is the 25% for just the gap funding. Now, this is a $3 million raise I did for a 10-unit building that we own in San Diego. This is not with that guy. This is with somebody else. My business partner, Melissa, she is a seasoned general contractor. I met her through RPM. We think the same, we act the same. And she approached me and said, hey, do you want to be my capital partner? This is what you teach. And I was like, no, like nobody in RPM needs me to be their capital partner. Like, why did you pay me to teach you to go raise money when you can go do this yourself? And she was like, I don't want to. I want to focus on the relationships I have with the city inspectors, the officials, finding our next deal. She's like, and I look at it like, this investment brought me to you, so I'm okay giving you equity. So I was like, okay, girl. So I raised $3 million and I get 25% of a $4 million property that we now have in San Diego, California, in Golden Hill, that is only going to appreciate over time. So there are so many variations. Something we talked about a little bit during lunch was if you raise half, what I teach is you get 25% of the equity. If you raise 100% of it, then it's a 50-50 equity split, because the person that you're working with can't do the deal without you. You know, my dad would always be like, cash is king. And I would make fun of him. It's true. When we know how to raise money, we literally, like, I hate to use like these, but like we hold all the power. You would be amazed at how many people that we know out there will gladly give every single one of you equity as long as you just solve the money problem for them. This is one of the renderings, which for our 10 unit, it's 2 buildings, a 4 unit, a 6 unit. And we're actually in the process of converting it into a midterm rental. So we'll see what the numbers pan out to be, but all I did was raise $3 million for this property. And now I'm an equity partner. We're in the middle now of doing a cost segregation study. The cost segregation for this property is going to be anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000. And her and I get to split that. I'm like, so now that all comes off my taxable income, right? So capital partnerships are huge. Earlier, when we talked about gaps in our business, a lot of us said good deals. We can't find a good deal. By becoming someone's capital partner, this problem goes away. You find one person, not 10, who has a proven track record, who has deal flow, who has experience. You articulate to them the benefit that you bring to the table by solving the money problem for them. They've got their on-site construction team. You're literally just raising and managing the money. Now you've got as much or as little deal flow as you want. This is way more streamlined, way more efficient. The second thing that has become another stream of income is finder's fees. So what does that mean? What does that look like? There is a legally right and wrong way of collecting a finder's fee. So I'm going to share with you what a lawyer will tell you. The lawyer will tell you legally it's not a referral fee, it's a finder's fee, correct? Number 2, the lawyer will tell you the fee is due upon making the intro. So if I introduce Lauren to Farah, Lauren is the flipper, Farah is the private money lender. Just because I introduced them, Lauren owes me my fee. But I'm not an a-hole, so I'm not going to collect unless the deal happens, right? But legally, that's not how it works. Just upon making the intro, my fee is due. Number 3 is the fee has to be a flat fee. It can't be a percentage of the loan amount. Okay, fine. So I use 1 to 2 points to determine what my flat fee is going to be. So, hey, my flat fee is going to be 2 G's, 3 G's, 5 G's, $1,000. Are you down to make the intro? Everyone's going to say yes. Now, kind of like reverse wholesaling, I'm reverse prospecting because I want to make sure the probability of them working together happens so I get paid. So I'd be like, hey, girl, you've got a deal. I know, like, and trust you. I've underwritten the deal, right? We have to understand the deal, make sure it's a good deal, a deal that we would actually lend on before I introduce her to my private money lender. My standard process is a flat fee of $2,000, right? If Farah ends up investing, yes or no, she'll say yes. So then I'll go to Farah. Hey, you've got money sitting on the sidelines. I'm good. I'm capped out right now. I don't need it. But my good friend who I've already vetted, I've underwritten the deal, has something. Assuming you like her, once I make the intro, are you down to like lend on her deal? She's going to say yes. So I pretty much kind of encourage a productive learning environment. They're going to probably do the deal together. and now I'll get paid on it. And that's instant. What I do is I don't collect instantly. Once they close, I get my share. So finder's fees are huge, and it's another great stream of passive income. Chris is a full-time lieutenant out here somewhere, Roseville, Rosedale. You probably know it better than I do. So notice this giant gun. And we were on a one-on-one call one day. And I'm going to play this video for you. But just by implementing a finder's fee process, he doesn't want to quit being a cop. He loves being a cop. He's building his long-term passive rental income portfolio. This is actually outdated. He made over $100,000 in finder's fees his very first month of just being mindful of this strategy. So check this out.
Really good for you to achieve this. That's the picture. Awesome. Sorry to stop you. I literally just got an update. I just got $4,000 deposited into my account. We're from the referral fee that remember we talked about last week. So that's
So I thought when he leaned in and was like, excuse me, like a chase was about to go down. That's why I just and I was like, do I turn off the Zoom recording? I literally didn't know. But he's like working, pulls over, takes our one-on-one call. So $4,000 he wasn't even expecting just came into his account in the form of a finder's fee, right? So it's like, how are we more mindful of all these streams of income that we can generate by leveraging this one skill set? You're out there networking. Referral fees, affiliate fees, partnership fees. These are all the different things that you can do as you continue flipping your properties, wholesaling, co-living, whatever it is you want to do. So what does that look like? Is this real? Yeah, girl, take a picture and then watch the transaction start to roll through on the next slide.
oh, okay.